Your life experience, good or bad, is a gift when you share it with others. At Taxi Chronicles, we allow real riders with real stories to share their gift. So hopefully this episode will intrigue, enhance or inspire you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we're honoured to have another therapist in the house. Well, the last one was something else, is not a therapist, but it's something along those lines. It's people who can give you mental strength. But today we shall have an occupational therapist, and he shall explain in the ins and outs of the industry and how he got into it. So welcome, nice to have you here today.
Nice to be here, mate.
You gotta hold it, mate. I can hold it.
All right.
Okay, so tell us,
what do you want to know?
What were you like as a child?
As a child, so mom and dad come from different backgrounds. My mom is Spanish, my dad is Pakistani. I always thought he married her for the passport, but no, it turns out to be love. It was for love. There's a real occupational therapist for you, man. Straight into the deep end. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, since young, they sort of always said, education is the way forward. I think that's my dad's side of the Asian side that sort of kicks in. That says that if you don't have an education to fall back on, you're basically gonna screw up in life. And being the eldest, that was a pressure. But I always enjoyed education, so it's been a pretty good childhood, to be honest.
How many siblings do you have?
So I've got 3 siblings. I've got one younger brother who is into numbers, so finance and accounting, and I've got a younger sister who's doing, well, having looked at both of us, she's chosen a career in therapy, so she's going to be a speech and language therapist soon.
Okay, that's good. That's what we're setting my son up with one of those now. He's 5 years old.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm not sure if he really needs it at 5 years old, but maybe we'll have that conversation later.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so what made you want to get into the occupational therapist industry?
So I'm going to be completely honest, this is going to sound weird because the actual way how I fell into it is completely by fluke. I wanted to be a speech and language therapist or a psychotherapist. Now, a psychotherapist basically looks at an individual's challenges, mental challenges that they have on a daily basis, and they help them overcome them by still providing cognitive behavior therapy or other types of therapy to overcome that issue that they're having or any barriers that they have in their life. Now, I was away in Spain when I needed to select my options for university, so I asked one of my friends, can you please go into my UCAS, which is a platform where you sort of apply and do everything. And instead of selecting psychotherapy, he selected occupational therapy. So when I came back, they said, congratulations, you've been accepted in occupational therapy. And I thought, what the fuck is that? When I went into it, everybody sort of talked about the experience that they had when they sort of met an occupational therapist, and that's how they got into the profession. And I had nothing to say, so I just copied whatever everyone else was saying. I didn't know.
Okay, all right.
Slowly but surely, I learned more about occupational therapy as I was in uni and what it entailed. So it's basic occupational therapy. If you break it down into components, is occupation means doing. An occupation, your occupation could be to clean, to cook, to be able to access all essential facilities in your house. So every aspect of your life requires a certain amount of mental processing skills along with physical ability to do those. And if you have an injury or you have a mental health issue or you have a learning disability, those barriers then become apparent, and you need someone to be able to break those down and facilitate that. Now, the difference between the physiotherapy and occupational therapy, I'll just tell you very briefly, you'll understand it. A physiotherapy will give you an aid if you can't walk, right? If you've got difficulty walking, and a physiotherapist will give you an aid to be able to walk from A to B. Whereas an occupational therapist will tell you how to walk from A to B.
Okay. So one's about solution, the other one's just acknowledging that there's an issue.
Exactly. And a lot of people, when we talk about disability, we say that the person's disabled, whereas occupational therapists believe that it's not the person that's disabled. It's It's the access or the world around him that's making him disabled. I.e., let's say you want to go and travel by train. Why don't all trains or platforms have ramp access for someone that's a wheelchair user?
Oh, okay.
So it's the environment, it's the world that's making the person disabled, because everyone's abled given the right opportunity, given the right platform.
That sounds very PC.
It is.
That sounds silly. That sounds like you just ripped that out the thing. No, there's a fair amount of flesh on the bones there to go on that. I see what they're saying. But at the end of the day, if I haven't got an arm, I am disabled in my eyes. But how disabled depends on the environment around me, I would say.
Exactly. So a person with, let's say, an amputation that can't walk because is wheelchair bound, the opportunities that person has to get from A to B, it's only restricted with the availability of platforms and making it accessible for everyone.
Mm.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And that's where we come in.
Okay. What would you say you've learned that you wish you knew when you started in this industry?
I wish I knew more about it at the beginning so I could give it my all, because I didn't give it my all when I was studying it. I only realized what occupational therapy is once I started working and I qualified. And what I've learned from it, and especially during COVID, because it was a very, very challenging time. I've learned that healthcare professionals are the way forward, man.
Yeah, I suppose every company, especially the mental health drive, and I
Yeah.
have this also saying for every company has to be seen to invest in mental health.
Yeah.
So they get occupational therapists or
Yep.
whatever that other lady, I can't remember what she is.
Behavioural therapist.
Yeah, behavioural therapists. So all of those people.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing, do you work with like the government, like the DWP?
So, and the beauty of occupational therapy is that we can work anywhere. Just like physios are restricted to only physical side of stuff, for example. I'm not having a dig at physios, great people. But what I'm saying is, as occupational therapist,
Great people.
I can work in a mental health. I can work with autism. I can work with learning difficulties. I can work with physical disabilities. I can work for social services. I can work anywhere. Because the diversity is immense. It's ranging from like I said, from physical disability to mental health to learning disabilities, anywhere. And that's the diversity that we have that I guess not many professions have, and it's not as recognized.
Okay, that's good. But I reckon it will become more apparent.
100%. I mean, in the past, there's always been we've always been seen as the people that help old people. So we're in baskets. So like when you're sort of creating those baskets when they get old and they're in residential homes. That's the persona that occupational therapy had. But over the last sort of 50-60 years, it's really driven up, and the importance of it has just shot right up.
Have you ever considered doing a podcast or a YouTube channel about occupational therapy?
No, I haven't.
You're very well articulated and you're clear and you're precise. So it's something I would say, if I was you, I'd consider. You just every day you just do a vlog or a TikTok even, a 2-minute, or it only can be 59 seconds on TikTok. You just talk about a brief aspect of occupational therapists in whatever industry.
Yeah, no,
And then before you go, you get loads of views. But it's got something of interest, something of facts that it contributes to people's life.
100%. I think it is something that we should be promoting as a profession. 100%. Unfortunately, you picked the wrong guy to do that. I think. I think.
Not me picking you, you picking yourself.
I think a good occupational therapist would definitely do that.
You're gonna make a lot of money. Think of how many views you get. You need to get 10,000 views to get paid on TikTok.
Really? Okay, I did not know. See, I'm not really into.
My mate did a view. He did DMX.
Right.
And it was that was like 59 seconds. That's what he did. He got 700 views straight away like that. Bam. People were like, yeah, okay.
I'm lazy though.
I'm the same. Money motivates many a man, many a person.
True,
You know?
true.
Stuff like that, you know. Okay. And yeah. So what's the future hold for you?
The future. So currently I am working for social services, where I help people in the community. I ideally like to get into maybe pediatrics. It's an area that requires, you know, there's a lot of demand for OTs to have a specialism, because it's a specialist area. You can't just be an OT and, you know, just have random experience. Pediatrics is a very concrete specialist area, and there is such high demand for it. So ideally, at some point, I'd like to explore that, and then see where the profession takes me. Really.
Going back to your comment about physios.
Yeah, great people. Love them.
Is there some rivalry?
There is, man. You know how there is always rivalry. I feel like physios say, you know, what is it that you're doing that we're not doing, and we're saying that whatever you're doing is wrong. So
okay.
It's one of those ones where I can do what you're doing plus this. But yeah, I mean, like I said, love physios.
Love physios. And physios and physiotherapists are the same thing.
Yeah. So it's just an abbreviation for physiotherapist.
Okay, that's good. What would be your advice to a 16-year-old who's considering getting into the industry? What's the best route to take? All of that.
My advice would be, first of all, if you're a people's person, if you're someone that, for example, I'll tell you the background that I did for my A-levels, which was drama, English language, psychology, and biology. Now, they're very different, very diverse sort of subjects. If you're creative, if you like to talk to people, if you're a people's person and you want to help to make a change in someone's life, then 100% go for occupational therapy, because there is so much demand for it. Number one, you get paid well.
Okay.
Secondly, the job is always there. You'll never be jobless. I can guarantee you that. If that's the case, call me. I will definitely make sure you get a job. And 100%. And number three, you'll be making that difference that you want to make. So when you go home, rather than have robbed someone working by, you know, in a financial industry where you've robbed someone,
he's having a dig at every industry.
You would have made a difference in someone's life coming home and sleeping in peace.
A
sincere difference.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, for the listeners, to give the young people some motivation, what's the starting wage like?
So if you work for the NHS, so we have bandings. Once you qualify from uni, let's say you get your degree, you're a band 5, which is a newly qualified. It's between 27 to 30, I would say, in London. As a band 6, you'll go from 30 to maybe 37, 40, and then, like I said, it just goes up like that. And by bandings we mean experience that you have had. You can also go as a locum, which basically means self-employed, and you obviously earn more because you get paid by the hour.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you've got opportunity, and then I suppose you could go deep in the private sector.
You can go into private sector. You can make your own company. You can have private clients. You can work for case managers, i.e., let's say someone's had a brain injury due to an accident, and they need. And you know, the insurance company has paid out for them to have an X, Y, and Z. They need an occupational therapist to work on a private basis, and you charge by the minute, really.
So there's a lot of writing.
100%. There's a lot of writing. You need to be able to,
a good reader and good writer.
100%. I mean, the basics, yeah.
You said the basics. It's not a basics for everybody. That's a big ask. That's a big ask there. But no, I hear what you're saying. Thanks for that. And the degree is a 3-year degree?
It's a 3-year degree. No, so I did a 3-year BSc, and it was funded by the NHS.
No, it's not anymore.
It was funded by the NHS, so you don't actually pay anything out of your pocket.
Is it any more still funded?
I believe so. I think what they've done now is what are they called? Apprenticeships. So you can actually work and learn at the same time, which takes around 4 years, four and a half years. But I think that's a great opportunity for someone that doesn't want to go into uni and just wants to work and learn at the same time.
I'm going to vlog about that today. If you want to get paid, you sure? You sure about this apprenticeship thing? I don't want a load of people to come back at me. Yeah. Well, okay. No, that's a good thing, because someone always, sorry to jump in there, I spoke to a Home Office person who said the Home Office do schemes.
Yeah.
Where you know about this, where you can just go and do an apprenticeship from college, and then you can work your way out through whatever avenue of the Home Office you want to be in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line between schemes and scams, isn't it?
Okay.
So you need to be able to understand what I would say is that really think as to what you want to do. And if you're young, you're making mistakes, it's okay. You only learn by doing, and you only learn by making mistakes. But do what you want to do, because if you don't, you're going to hate it, and you're never going to sort of prosper to the best of your ability.
Yeah, I hear that. So last question, you've been a great host, I guess. We say host. What's the impact you want to have on the world?
I'd like to leave a world in a place where whoever I've seen, in terms of my patients, clients, families, children, that I've done the best that I could to help them in any shape, way, or form. Even if I've not helped them, I've had a chat with them and they felt better that day. I once told this man who had a fracture, and he was going to deteriorate. But we just had a conversation. I said, you know what, the way you're going, the way you're progressing, I think you could run the marathon. And he started laughing. He said, that's the best thing someone said to me in the past 5 years. So sometimes it's not about what you do, it's what you say to someone that makes an impact on their life. But yeah, ideally want to leave in a place where, with a smile, to leave someone with a smile on their face.
I hear you. That's good. Well, thanks a lot for that.
Thank you for having me.
And we wish you well.
Thank you.
We hope you liked that Taxi Chronicles interview. Don't forget to share and subscribe to get the latest episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economies and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. Listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. British Standard Time.